Of course, because this webinar really is dedicated to teams, I would be remiss if I did not touch on very quickly. We're going to do a real brief, just kind of introduction to what is the Core Team account. It's one of our most popular add-on features in kvCORE. So for those whose brokerages offer them kvCORE, know that you can form your own and complete team system within kvCORE. And there's a lot of reasons to do it. It's much more affordable than other solutions out there for teams. Reasons why, like I said, you can save a ton of money, 3 to 5 times less than other similar team solutions. You can build out, team specific campaigns, different, if you have an admin and they need to do certain tasks when a specific, event happens with a lead, that can all be automated, them getting assigned those tasks. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do in the team system because you're really being given a new level of administration. You're getting a new team website. You're getting a team smart number, and you can hold your agents accountable. You're going to be routing them leads, and this distribution can all be automatic, can all be automated. You can cherry pick the leads. Team leaders can receive, the leads who are shopping over a certain price point, and then have all other leads get routed out. You can even have them distribute to lenders if you're partnering with lenders. I just brought on a brand new team. They've already got a lender. I'm helping coordinate that lender, contributing to their marketing and the system, which they can, to my understanding, can invest up to 50% of, and they can have their own login and help collaborate with the agents on the follow-up of those leads. kvCORE is a very powerful system, but the main crux of using kvCORE day to day is actually really easy to learn. And sometimes at first glance, folks, think that this is going to be complicated, and really it can be if you get into certain aspects of it. But overall, once you get the day-to-day stuff, it's really easy to learn, and you're going to be assigned a success coach. And the success coach is going to help ensure, alongside the Go Live team, that you launch successfully. We help you connect all your lead sources to that. We make sure that your lead routing is set up appropriately right off the bat, and we're also going to do a training for your admins and an overview and success call with you and your team. So it's a full concierge setup that we do.
And I do want to, if I could mention, on the easy to learn, we just launched a completely brand new, I think it launched Monday, agent startup. And it is amazing. It's got PDFs of like homework for the week, right? So it's a 4-week course, and it says, okay, you're learning kvCORE. What is it about kvCORE that speaks to your business, and why should you learn it, right? How does it benefit you? So it's wrapped all about the concept of how you can put it to use in real time and start being successful in the use. So I really encourage you to click on the little cap at the bottom left of your dashboards to access the Core Learning Portal, and you'll see that agent course there. It's amazing, and it's self-paced. Where you leave off, you can come back to it anytime you want, 24/7, 365. So I encourage you to check that out.
I had forgotten about that. That is very exciting. They've been working on that for a long time. So to help your agents ramp up, and I know we will be working on a similar thing for teams,
Yes.
but right now we wanted to focus on the individual with that particular thing. The other thing, real quick, everyone always asks me, okay, now that I've got the team system, what about the leads? Well, the lead ownership belongs to the team, aka the team leader. Agents can't leave your team and take the team-owned leads with them. The lead routing is very robust. I'm happy to go over this with anyone who's thinking of running a team or is using another system and wants to do a comparison. Again, you get a team-branded website. And the analytics are always a thing that is kind of like the icing on the cake of, if you're going to run a team, you don't want to make decisions without data to back up your decisions. Should I spend more money on pay-per-click marketing? Should I spend more money on Zillow? Should we spend more money in this direction or that? And this helps you understand exactly which agents are performing best, which lead sources are getting you the most transactions, where are the leads, how is your pipeline as far as the team is concerned. So again, anyone on this call that is a team leader that wants a one-on-one, that is my job. This is what I do. And I've been doing this for 16 years. I want to learn about your business model, and I can help, create solutions within, the team solution, because it adds this new layer of administration that you just don't get with the single user package. All of the single user login that your broker provides you is extremely powerful. And a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about right now, anyone with a login with kvCORE can do, but this is, I also kind of want to gear this towards team leaders. So without further ado, let's talk about how to get free and inexpensive leads. Now, when I say free, free always has an asterisk by it, right? Nothing's ever free. And I want to really emphasize that the strategies we're going to talk about today, it's not a one and done, onesies and twosies, dibble and dabble kind of thing. This needs to be an overall approach. This needs to be a daily set aside time to go and do these things. But there's some really cool tools that Facebook has that's going to allow you to, do some work today that'll actually kick into, place tomorrow, the day after that. And that's pretty cool. So what we're talking about today is how to leverage one of the most powerful marketing tools I've ever seen. I've been working with internet, marketing for 16 years, but the squeeze page generator, I'd never seen anything like it. And I think it's absolutely incredible. And it opens up a world of how you can share content and engage people to your site, capture them, and with social media groups, Facebook is going to be the highlight of today. If anyone wants to share with us other social media platforms, we can also get into those on another webinar, because these tools are very universal. It's all about linking and sharing. Now, the thing about Facebook is that there's so much under the surface of Facebook that a lot of us probably aren't aware of, and a lot of it falls right in the groups of Facebook. So, I want to talk about, well, what do we want to share? Where are we going to share it? And how can we even create places to share it in? So just a quick overview. What are we sharing today? We're talking about sharing, properties, pre-made searches, individual listings, events like open houses or price drops. Then when I say pre-made searches, kvCORE conversion also allow for very interesting filters like foreclosures, swimming pool homes, golf homes, reduced price properties, horse properties, 55 plus properties. But as you share, as you create this structure where you're sharing content on a regular basis, we also want to share, maybe some non-real estate content and other real estate content that's not just properties. So we'll kind of get into that a little bit as well. But the squeeze page generator is really a powerful tool for sharing, and you really want to share every single day, even if you're setting it all up on a Monday to share out across the rest of the week by one of the strategies down here that I mentioned, which is you can schedule postings for later, which is huge. You can sit down in front of the TV, binge some Netflix when you do, and sit there in front of Facebook coming up with your postings and have them staggered so they go out at different times. You can test different times, see when that has better effect, and it can go out on day, set this all up days in advance, so you're always
that's what I do.
Way out in advance. Perfect.
Yeah, it's really cool, because when you have groups, you get insight into how your group is performing. Mm-hmm. And after time, you'll be able to see data saying, when are people active the most? When do I want this post to land? It's going to be different usually on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. There's different times these groups start to pop. So you can actually watch that and plan when these hit, which is pretty neat.
So we're kind of going to fork this into kind of 3 different places where you want to post every day. One is your business page. If you don't have one, make one. And you want to grow this. You want to invite people to like it. That always takes off, to some degree. And then you want to keep posting interesting stuff to your business page. Stuff that's directly related to what, the properties and so forth. But, other interesting things, hyper-local articles that are real estate related, events up and coming, things that keep the people interested in your business page. Now, the other thing we're going to talk about is posting to local pre-existing groups. Now, this is a little bit fraught, because realize someone else started each and every one of these groups. There's people just like you and me that started a group and grew it organically and invited people, and they added content, and then those people invited their friends or saw it and added content. you want to go and join groups that are countywide, citywide, neighborhood-wide, and then other things within those markets, like fans of your major sports teams, people that have specific hobbies and interest groups. So for example, here in San Diego, I put a bunch of examples of, so my office is in Carlsbad, California. I live in San Diego, California. These are neighborhoods that are surrounding my neighborhood. You want to go ahead and join all of these groups. Now, every one of them is going to have, and not these specifically, but you want to go and do your research, I put a link right here to the group search in Facebook. You want to go and you want to find all the different groups. I'd even say start a spreadsheet and put all the groups that you join, link them right into that. Make a Google Docs spreadsheet, put all the ones you join on there. They'll all be listed in your Facebook group too. And read the header of each one, because some are not going to want posts of the nature that we're going to suggest posting to. And if a group tells you, hey, that we don't want that kind of post, no big deal. Just leave that group and go ahead and there's lots of other groups where that came from. Ones that I found 6,900 people that are in a gardening group in San Diego, and 2,600 members in a backyard growers group. So these are people that are into, growing their own veggies and that kind of thing. So what you want to do is you want to think about, well, what kind of a post, property-wise, might these folks be interested in? And so now I'm going to step into the squeeze page generator, and we can go and say, okay, well, for groups that big, they're kind of, they're all over the county, we might do, and the system I'm on right here is actually has LA data in it. So I'm just going to say Los Angeles. And we'll say, the whole county of Los Angeles. Now, they probably want acreage, right? So let's say, hey, properties that are half an acre or bigger, that are single family, and even maybe pieces of land. And then we'll give some options of, we'll look at the options, see if any are relevant, maybe reduced. Reduced is always great. It's the properties that are going, lowered in price at some point since they've been put onto the market. We can also do, we could do foreclosures. We could do, any of these kinds of things. No HOA fees, so you're not, paying an HOA, and they may have things against gardening, for example. So you may put no HOA fees. Reduced price properties in LA County that are at least a half acre in size. Now, your source, you always want to make sure you put a source. In this case, we'll put FB for Facebook. It's going to track it as a Facebook sourced leads. And then you might even put a hashtag gardening. Now, the reason why you're going to do this is the link we're going to generate right now, we want those people to all be grouped together so we know what their interest is. And interest hashtags are perfect, for sports teams or whatever it is that whatever link you brought them through. And now when you generate this link, I want you to add this to your spreadsheet. And the reason being is you're going to be able to recycle this link over and over again. These links update dynamically. So as the properties enter and leave the market, 2 weeks later, when you want to go and repost this link back into the gardening groups, you don't have to go and regenerate it. You can just copy it right off your spreadsheet, drag and drop into the group. Now, we can go and I can show you, we'll take this link right here, and we'll talk about some strategies and some things that I learned to do with this link. So we'll go back to here. We'll go to this 6,900 person group in Facebook. And oh, that's right, I'm not part of this group, so I can't post this group. So we would want to join the group, and this is where you join the group. What I'll do instead is I've got this group right here that is open. Normal Heights is a neighborhood in San Diego. I live adjacent to it, so I joined the group, and this is where I can decide to post to the group. Now, if we're going to do these posts on a regular basis, we want to make sure we're making them attractive and clickable. And I'm going to go ahead and paste that link. Now watch this. What it's going to do is it's going to fetch the preview of properties that match the search. Now it did so earlier. Let's actually take a look at the link and make sure there are indeed properties that match. You should definitely look at the links before you go posting them. 709 properties in LA County that are at least a half acre in size with no HOA fee and reduced in price. We'll go back here, and sometimes Facebook doesn't want to take the photos from the link. So I'm not going to worry too much about it, but normally what's going to happen is Facebook is going to pull the main photo of the first picture, and you can even click between the
9
photos.
9 times out of 10 it'll work.
Yeah, so if it doesn't work, no big deal. You can even close that out, and I believe you can add a photo of your own choosing. Pick a picture of
it. It'll change. The link will still remain, but it'll change the look a little bit.
Oh, change the look a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, if you go on your own business page and add a photo, you could do carousels. You could add in multiple photos, and I think they even let you add music now. So there's all sorts of little things you can do.
Very cool. Here's what I would do with this. Now, this is again is a link of reduced priced properties that are on acreage. I'd say fellow gardening, and I know I'm on normal heights, but this just for the example of the gardeners, fellow gardening enthusiasts, and then throw in some emojis. Got some lined up right there. Tomatoes, plant, bumblebee, and then I'll say all homes in LA County with 1/2 acre plus and reduced in price. That's it. Then I would just post that. You don't have to go into a long anything. Just tell them what's in your link, and then you post it, and it's going to show up in the feed of that group. So what I really emphasize is go and join groups that are everywhere from the county down to the neighborhood level, county, cities, towns, neighborhoods. And then also look for, as we mentioned here on the spreadsheet, or rather on the doc, groups with specific interests or sports teams. This is one that I think is great. I found 5,800 people that are Padres fans. I found 15,000 people that are Chargers fans, but it just dawned on me that the Chargers have left San Diego. So make sure your sports team is still in your city when you go and target them. But what's great with these ones is you can go and do posts of, hey, here are all the properties that are walking distance to where the team plays. Maybe even just do the condos for fans that are looking for a place nearby where they can go and live, go down, by the ballpark or what have you. So pre-existing groups, huge audience to tap. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about really bounces right off of this is starting your very own group. Now, this is where we really take it to the next level. And I would say, don't just start one group, try starting a few, see what takes off. This again is organic growth. So what we're trying to do is, go and make one for, houses for sale in the city for sale and rent. Make one of these for every one of the towns and cities that you focused on. Make one if there's a hobby you're into, that's a great one. And one of the most important things that you're trying to do here is realize other people want to post to your group as well. So let people come and post to your group. What's going to let a group grow and what's going to get a group taking off is when other persons on Facebook want to interact within that group. And so try to make it so that folks can come and post their rentals into your group. They want to interact with it as well.
Yeah, there's a local gal here in my county who has partnered up with her lender, and they have, I think it's like Clark County Homes. It's a very simple name. But basically she and her lender both monitor this, and anyone can post what they have for rent, what they have for sale, what they want to sell, or what they're looking for. And then they just say, well, do you know about these programs? Do you know that only 70% of people don't know there's programs to help them get into a house? So they really work in tandem together on presenting those opportunities. Plus they get to watch those FSBOs just kind of sit there and look at the like a November rain, like Guns N' Roses staring out of the window, and feel like it's waiting for it to sell. So they can watch that and then know who to contact. So it gives you also the ability to potentially farm, which is pretty cool as well.
Yeah, invite people to post their own properties for sale if they're, trying to sell their own home, and let them try. And then guess what? They're right there in your garden. This is your garden that you're trying to grow. So you want to feed content to it that's relevant, and you want to also invite other people to contribute as well, because that's going to keep them part of the group. That's going to help the group grow. It's going to gain traction and visibility. So all these groups up here that I linked, somebody started them. Someone started this group, and then it took off. So that's why you want to try starting multiple. And the great thing also is that you can make other people on, other team members or your admins, or like you mentioned, your lender. Your lender can also be, everyone needs to be on Facebook, of course, can all be made admins of the group, so that you can kind of monitor the content to some degree. If it, because when you have a group, people will, message you if something's on there that they want taken down, or someone's posting to your group that maybe shouldn't, or something like that. You set the rules of the group, which is why when you go and try to post into these other groups, I mean, some of these are huge. Like, I'm in Carlsbad, California, and this has 43,000 members. That's the audience that you're tapping into when you post a link to that group. So when you go and you post your link, as we mentioned before, you can also, let me see, where is it? If I want to post it later, I think it's.
If you're in a group, it should. If you're the admin, you can do it later. If you are just a member of a group, you cannot set a schedule.
I gotcha. Okay, so.
But usually it'd be like a little clock just to the left of post at the bottom right.
Right, that's right. There's a drop-down menu right here if you're the admin of a group. Right. So for the groups that you run, you'll be able to post all your things on a, sitting on your couch on a Sunday evening.
I'll do a video on it too.
You choose to have them post, next week, week after, or next day, day after that, day after that. So it's all happening across the week, and all that exposure is happening for you while you're going about doing all the other things that are on your plate. So going back to this, so yeah, so building your own group, I would say try to do several groups at once. One, maybe two of them might take off. But you want to do invitations to the groups, and I think it has right built-in ability to invite people, invite everybody that's already in your sphere to them. Ask them, hey, I want to try to form this group. Please invite your friends to this group. Could be a getting to know area, or share your San Diego experience group. I mean, there's lots of different. In fact, one way to get ideas for what types of groups is go and search Facebook for groups in an area that's not your area, and see what other groups in those other areas took off that there's no analog of a similar type group in your marketplace, and start that group. So you can go take what other people have done that's been successful in forming as a group in an area, and be the one that plants the seed of that group in your area. And so,
can you show how to search Facebook?
Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to go here to Facebook. I'm going to go. Actually, I threw the link.
Cool.
Threw the link in here. So I already did San Diego, and I put a bunch of links on there. Let's search somewhere. I'm going to search.
It's kind of like when I used to do training. If someone was in Alexandria or wherever, I'd be like, "Well, are you near a military base?" Or like you said, like a sporting events or what have you. The options are endless.
So let's try searching an area like, gosh, I'm at a loss. Where are you, Annalisa?
Vancouver, Washington.
Vancouver. Okay, so Vancouver. Best thing to do is start off with Vancouver, Washington, and we'll see what comes up at the top. And then you're going to click here on groups, because it's going to do a full search, and it's going to find links, it's going to find all kinds of stuff, but you want to be in groups. So here we've got Vancouver, Washington, Clark County area buy and sell, 27,000 people. Then there's a Vancouver, Washington group. It's only got 248. So there's somebody trying to get a group off the ground, and it just might. Now, here's a good one. If you can, speak Spanish or any other language fluently, those are groups that you should also be starting. Start groups for folks that are, non-native English speakers, and those are audiences that you can tap into and also grow. So if there's a, things for sale, but there's not one for your particular, if you speak German, if you speak Dutch, if you speak Spanish, if you speak French, whatever you speak, whatever group you're a part of, start groups for folks that are also in that same group.
And the cool thing is you can build landing pages off of the lead gen, and you can use any language you'd like, because you can change any of the text that's there. So you can create landing pages in other alternate languages as well, and you can tie them into these if you have one of those alternate language groups.
Groups that I see all over the place are these garage sale groups. They're often quite big. Here's 13,000, here's 20,000. So if I were trying to target Vancouver, I would be joining all of these groups, and I'd make a spreadsheet of all the groups I've joined, and then I would start making my squeeze pages, and I'd put those squeeze pages in that spreadsheet as well. That way I don't have to keep remaking those links. You don't want to have to keep remaking links every time, because then you can literally get through the work of reposting to these groups in a matter of minutes, because all your links are ready. But if you come up with some new idea of what to post to the group to keep it fresh, and a lot of other things you can post are not just like pre-searched properties, but also like, hey, here's a listing in that neighborhood, or here's a home that has an open house coming up. Like just all the open houses in the county, you can drop that into a county group, and there it's relevant. All the, post those on, like, say, a Thursday evening when people are planning, or a Friday afternoon when people start to think about, what am I going to go do this weekend? Maybe they're going to go look at open houses. Oh, and here's this link to all the open houses in the county, and they can search through them right on your site. So we've got, here's there we are, classifieds in Spanish. So someone got that idea, and they've got 2,300 people that speak Spanish that are, these people are posting different things for sale, but now that's an audience that is your captive audience to target, because you are the admin of this group. And we can kind of go further, and there's people are into dogs, but only 218 members. So, you want to join big groups whose audiences are substantial. Wedding community, that's an interesting one. I don't know that they would be interested in real estate information necessarily. That's the thing. Some groups may be nice and big and seem like they're right for the picking, but they may, the admins may be against posting the kind of stuff that we're talking about. So eventually you'll get your core groups that you can post to on a regular basis, and you're getting in front of people that you'd not otherwise get in front of. And again, all of these leads, if you make this a habit, if you make this a consistent approach, is going to route traffic into your system, is going to capture leads. And my advice is we make the phone number required on your site. Some folks may have reasons they don't want that. That's fine. My default advice is make the phone number required on these postings that you do. And see, there's groups galore, and some of these are 4,100 people, all things for sale, Vancouver, Washington. So join all of these different groups. 3,700 people for sale and rent. Almost 5,000 people there. There's a lot of people you can target in these groups. And then there's groups like, here's House Hunt Vancouver, Washington. It's got 500 people. Why not join it and post into it?
And I know some folks have had a lot of good success as well, adding different types of elements. Like I think I mentioned, I can't remember if it was you I was speaking with yesterday or not, but one of my friends who's an agent had actually created a group that just spoke to local moms and programs and events for local moms, but they also wrapped that into community things around homes around specific school districts and how to register for specific school districts and the homes near them. So they were always kind of bringing it back around really softly. But that group took off. It was
I love that. And so, like, I am the child of educators. And so you could start a group like, San Diego County Teacher Resources.
Yep.
And now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to flood that initially with nothing to do with real estate. Pull all the different resources for teachers, different, if there's upcoming, free giveaways. Teachers always need stuff for their classrooms. You can, as you grow the group, you can try doing like fundraisers just in general for, teacher related, fundraising type activities.
Pay off lunches, who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, let's get together and pay off the lunch at lunch bill at this school or that school. Um, there's a lot of things you can do. There's a lot of stuff you can pull together there. The whole idea initially is audience growth. You want to grow the audience. You want to make it as relevant as possible. You want people to join the group and contribute to the group so that the group has a nice, healthy, vibrant, activity going on there. And then you can start to drop in like, hey, here are all the properties walkable to this school, that school, that school. And you can make all these links with the squeeze page builder, because you can go into the squeeze page builder and you can literally draw on the map and draw right around the school and make that be the area for that
That's such a
particular
cool
link. And then again,
feature.
save these links, put them all in your spreadsheet. And the thing about the team solution is that you're going to build all these links on your team's domain, because that's going to ensure happens is that all of the leads that generate through all these efforts are routing out to your agents automatically according to the rules that you set. So yeah, no, I love that idea. So think of different groups that maybe in your area don't have. I can go here to the search, and I can go San Diego, see San Diego teachers, see what kind of groups there are. There's jobs, rooms, buy and sell, offer up, classifieds.
And
I'm not seeing anything like I described.
With teachers too, I mean, I know it's few and far between that you have the Good Neighbor Next Door program and a home that qualifies for it in that area. However, it's also a nice warm opening because people don't know about these programs a lot of the time. So that could be your foot in the door to speak to teachers unions, to speak to fire people unions, police offices. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can go about growing these bases.
You can put together a landing page for say, hey, teachers, there's a lot of great, there's great opportunities, in terms of special loan programs. Interested to know how much home you can afford. Fill out this form, and we'll get our specialist with you, and you can funnel those leads to your lender. So a lot of opportunity there. So really, this is where you kind of have to let your imagination run wild. And like I said, like I just did search groups in San Diego for teachers. I'm not seeing one. So that is a ripe opportunity for a group in San Diego. Here's a San Diego teachers buy and sell. You might want to join that. But I think, a more broad-based group that grows. I mean, imagine like starting a group today and 6 months later, you've got a group that's got 20,000 people in it, and they're just joining the group because the content in the group is interesting, not just the stuff that you have to post, but the stuff that other people are posting to it as well. And you're the administrator. So you own that group within Facebook, and can contribute regular content that's relevant to that group. And but again, you got to make it an everyday kind of thing with regards to, this is a full approach. Every day, every other day, obviously do what you can.
Well, I was going to say, speaking as an admin who handles the two groups we have, is you might notice I'm always like posting like question of the day, and it's to get people to interact and share their stories, because we all like to talk and interact as humans, right? So you just got to post something really simple like, hey, have you been to this restaurant? What would you recommend downtown? Have you checked out the new coffee shop? I mean, just things about your community that gets people thinking and talking. And then you can always say, well, we're going to have our spring get together at this park this year. Bring a dish. And then maybe you can have a potluck and really meet people. Who knows? But there's just a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah, and invite the people in your, like, for example, if you make a neighborhood group, invite the people in your group to say, hey, did you have a great experience at a local coffee shop, new restaurant, what in the neighborhood, why do you like living in the neighborhood? We want to hear your experiences, and really try to engage your group as an admin. And then again, always come back with content that's interesting, like, hey, here's a property that's been sitting on the market. I just want to put this out there. You can make single property squeeze pages, drop one listing in, just post it up, just stick it in the group, and it's going to be seen by everyone in your group if the group is yours. So that's really the focus of today. The thing I want to kind of end on, we said free, and what we've been talking about is free, although free is always, um, free is relative because it takes time to do these kinds of things and it does take effort. But one thing that's very easy to do is our property boost within the kvCORE system. And 1 week is $60, 2 weeks is 120, 3 weeks is 150. And what this is doing is it's taking the listing of your choosing, and I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with this, but you find the listing that you want to advertise. Now, make sure you've got the permission to post this this listing. Easy way to find properties that are going to be easy for you to get permission is you can go here and you can just filter your agency's listings and apply that. And then you have all the properties that are your agency's listings. You can check this box here, go to boost the property, and it's going to take you to this page, and you can literally it just generates an ad from that property and creates an ad that gets shown to all the adults in the in the vicinity of the home. So it'll actually it'll start kind of when you drop a stone in water, the rings go outward from where the stone hits the water. So this is the center of the ad, and then the ad expands outward. And everybody, I believe, 26 years and older will see the ad. Is that right?
I am not aware of the demographic breakdown off the top of my head.
I know that at the very least it's going to be shown to adults, where the break off age starts. I guess we'll have to get feedback or get more info on that.
I'll get the information and drop it on the doc.
Yeah, we'll put it in the doc. Perfect. So another way to get there is you pull up the property, you pull down this menu, and you go to boost property. And it's really very simple. It just takes you no time at all. Creates this ad, and you start sharing that ad, and it pays to display that ad. And this is also where, according to Ryan Hartman, some of the lowest cost per leads have come from all of our different offerings that we inside real estate offer, in terms of how many cost per lead that you're going to generate for your dollar spent. So property boost is kind of the end of the webinar today. If you guys have any questions about that, go ahead and drop them in, and we'll respond. But this is such a great program for inexpensive lead gen that's easy to do with super low effort. Whereas, of course, go ahead.
Just to speak to that, we just, previous to this class, we had a really amazing course on funnels and thinking about targets and follow-up and so forth. And what we spoke to there was everything you could do manually to build a funnel. Mm-hmm. And everything that we spoke to manually is actually pretty much done when you purchase into Core Property Boost. So if you're like, look, I got stuff popping, I just want to push it and go, this would be your option. Yeah. It's amazing, and it takes about 24 to 48 hours to see the return. So if you do this, you're like, where is it? Give it time. Mm-hmm. But it'll start to pour in, and it's really impressive. And it lands an email, a name, and a phone number every time.
And it really does double duty. If these are your listings, you're advertising your listing and you're generating buyer leads for the team. And again, the team solution can distribute your Core Property Boost leads to the team if that's how you want it to go, or you can have them all go to you as the as the team leader. Or if you're an individual on a team, this is a way to generate leads very easily. If you feel like, hey, I'm just not getting enough leads, I want more buyer leads, find either one of your office's listings or your team's listings, just get permission to advertise it. Some boards don't require that advertising or that permission, but again, check your local rules just to find out what that is. Just know that if you have permission, you're golden every time.
And I have an answer on the property boost. Okay. So because of the recent Facebook changes, it's not allowing the age targeting, because Facebook is really like tippy-toeing things, right? Yeah. So basically, initially, it's targeting a 15-mile radius for all ages. Now, I know that sounds like a lot. However, mm-hmm. the AI learns continuously as the ad is going, and it adjusts itself. Mm. So there's always AI looking for the most responsive people. So it's like you have your own assistant in the interwebs, in the matrix, right? So this is working for you while you're out going about your business. It's doing its job for you in bringing in both buyer or seller potential, which is pretty cool. And Troy's saying, hey, where the heck is the property boost? So Roberta, do you have your dashboard open?
Yeah, right here.
Oh, maybe I should have the correct shared screen in front of me. That's dumb of me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a couple places. Again,
yeah.
On the property, this menu right here where it always says send via email, you click here and it's right there. Property boost. That would be this property you want to boost. The other place you can get to it is through just clicking on listings, and you can literally just type in the MLS number right here, and it'll pull it up. So watch, if I have this MLS number here, and I'm just going to copy it. If I already just paste this right here, what the heck? Why did it do that?
Because it's doing that today.
Oh boy, yeah. Supposedly I'm getting a new computer, so a lot of this stuff will hopefully go fast. Why can't I click in? Okay, we will X that out.
In a perfect world, you could type in your MLS number here and it would bring up just that result. Or here's a little pro tip. If you have multiple MLS numbers, you can actually put a comma in between them and pull them up as well.
Yeah, and that's if you want to like create just a quick list of listings to text or email off to a client, and you just have the numbers. Just start typing them in with commas. It'll start pulling just those listings.
So cool.
Check this box right here, and then right here is your Boost Property button, and that will take you to this page where you get to pick which campaign do you want to boost, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, etc. And the other very cool thing about all this is that back here in the marketplace, if you want to see how is your boost performing, you click on here and you have this dashboard that's going to show you all your ads running, how many impressions they've generated, how many clicks you've accumulated, how many shares, because these ads can get shared, and then how many leads you generated and your cost per lead.
And they come in hashtagged.
Yes.
So you can sort them very easily as well.
And if you're a team leader, you'll be able to filter by which agents on your team are doing this as well. So you can see how you can see the whole team, or you can see individuals who are doing it as well. And you can filter by date range and see which ones are completed, which ones are active, which ones are upcoming, because you schedule when you want them to happen. If you don't want them to happen immediately, you can delay it.
And if you want to learn more about Property Boost on your own time, you can actually click into that core learning portal at the bottom left-hand side of your dashboard, that little cap. And if you click on growth strategies, I believe it is, you'll find a class on the core Property Boost, or it might be marketplace or both, but I know it's in there.
Gotcha.
I think maybe
marketplace
probably.
Listing machine, social.
Here we go, Property Boost.
There it is. So we've got a little class. 4 lessons big. It'll walk you right through everything you need to know about it. A couple little videos in this course. Oops. And that'll really get you right up to speed with how this tool works. But yeah, it's a great way to leverage your listings. So I hope everybody really enjoyed this. We want to do more weekly or so webinars, and so we're going to put our heads together, me and Annalisa, and we'll probably do another one next week, and we'll target maybe some other social media. But lead gen is always a favorite of mine, and I know it's a favorite of everybody else's, because generating leads is kind of the name of the game. So,
and if you have ideas, don't hesitate to ping me or Roberto. Just say, hey, what about this for teams? Just don't hesitate to ask, because we want to be able to respond to what you're seeking and make sure you have the information you need to be successful.
Yeah, if you guys have a good idea, let us know. We'd be happy to do a whole webinar on it and talk about it at length. And
Mary Ellen has a question. When you do a Facebook boost, is it a squeeze page? So I do want to make sure we have the 2 definitions of a boost differentiated. So there is the Facebook boost that's really worthless. It doesn't do much at all.
Okay.
But then there's like the Facebook ad content, which is very, very useful, where you can get into retargeting and remarketing and all that good stuff. And then there's also Core Property Boost, which is a separate product that is unique to kvCORE users only. And that's what Roberta was showing us. And then in regards of the squeeze page, when you create a squeeze page, which is separate from the Facebook boosting and the core property boost, your squeeze page is in your lead gen. And basically, it's going to pull results directly from the MLS of which you are connected via your brokerage. Basically lives in your dashboard 24/7. And we're going to pull in those targets on one clickable link, and it's a live link. So when you post it on Facebook or wherever you do post it, whenever somebody clicks it, it takes them directly to your site with the most up-to-date content we can pull from your MLS. And you can add tracking elements. So it's a win-win across the board on those.
Absolutely. And if anybody has success growing a Facebook group, we'd love to hear about it.
I have.
Oh, you have? You've grown one.
I have 5, yeah.
Oh, wow. Very cool. Yeah. I've never tried it, but now that I've done all my research today, I think I'm going to try. We'll see what I come up with.
Yeah, I mean, it's a neat way to get to know some folks, you know.
Right.
Mine's a pay it forward group.
The whole point of being in real estate is to get to know folks, meet them, and service. Name of the game. Well, thank everybody. We will be putting this video out for a rewatch. And again, if anybody is interested in the Core Team add-on, you can find me. I'll just leave this one last time in the marketplace. We'll put a link on the doc as well, of course, but I'm always right here in the Core Team add-on if you book a demo, and it starts at just $3.99 a month to have your own team system. So we'll hopefully see a lot of you next week, and hopefully I'll talk to some of you sooner than that.
All right, so Mary Ellen, she's saying, well, I hope, Mary Ellen, did we answer your question on squeeze pages, I'm hoping? Or maybe she couldn't. Can everyone hear me? And then Troy saying, can you differentiate the ads again? Troy, are you speaking to the ads of like Facebook versus Core property boost? The suspense of waiting for the question to be typed in. Yeah, what we just went through. Yes, so just to repeat that, you've got your Facebook boost, which is part of the Facebook marketing realm. That's kind of like within your ad content. It's an option, and so there's your Facebook run ad of boosting, and then you've got Core Property Boost, which is within kvCORE only, and then you have squeeze pages, which are a separate tool within your lead engine on kvCORE, which pulls information directly from the MLS of which you are connected. And Christian is saying, hey, is there a product to recruit agents, or is there someone doing this successfully? Actually, we're looking at developing assistance and advertisements for recruiting for people who are recruiting. It's in like the stages of being explored right now. And I'm actually in the middle of building out recruiting tools of which to refer to, so you can build content of which to send people on your site and so forth.
And we did do a webinar on using landing pages for recruiting funnels. That was 2 weeks ago, and so that is in the replays. So that's a good place to go if you want to look at a whole webinar we did on strategies for using the landing pages to create recruiting funnels.
Right.
And market those. Someone asked, how do people see the boosted properties? Boosted properties are seen literally right in the body, you know, in this center area. Like, so here's my friend talking about something. Here's someone advertising. It would just show up just like this, only it would be your listing, just an ad for your listing for them to click on. So make sure that first picture looks really good and interesting.
And just to sort of loop back to the squeeze pages, you can also you can do a squeeze page for a single property. So if you have a listing you want to throw out there, you can do that. You can make a multi-property squeeze. And
I've been talking mostly about the multi-property squeeze, but you're exactly right.
Someone was asking like, which is it? So I'm just it's pretty neat.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to show one property. So the multi-property is this one here, where you can do listing types and you can filter by price range and, you know, reduced and all these different features. If you're targeting like an older group on Facebook, maybe want to just show them all the 55 plus properties. But if you just want to get one listing out there, do the single property squeeze page. It creates a link to the property on your site. You choose when they get captured. If they get captured immediately, I would actually go with number 2, default. Reason is they get to see the property you want them to see, and then they get captured when they click to the next listing in your site. And you can also hashtag them so you know where they came from. And the Facebook boost uses effectively, it auto-generates, I think, a single property squeeze page, so it'll hashtag them. And yes, it does capture the lead. The whole purpose of the boost is not just to show them the home, it's to capture people pulling their data from Facebook right into your system.
Right, and that's where the form is created, where people just click on it. I'm sure we've all done it as consumers. We've clicked on it and we're like, oh good, my email's already there. Away it goes, I want information on this. Rarely does someone go in there and remove information. I'm sure it happens sometimes, but not incredibly often.
And someone says, so squeeze pages use the MLS listings. Yes, you're basically creating squeeze pages based off MLS data, multi-property individual listing, and kvCORE only, you can add listings that are not on the market.
I was just about to say the manual
boost them and cool. Push them. That's the manual listing ad that again is not conversion, but is kvCORE only. So you can add listings there. And so let's see if there's any other questions we can get to.
It is recorded.
Yep.
And you can always access all of our webinars by either going to the Inside Real Estate page on YouTube or insiderealestate.com/replays.
Right, so we'll link this one, of course, on our doc, and I'll send everybody out the video for the replay. And also one thing I do want to point out in the doc that I think everybody should go watch, especially if you're interested in the group growth, is this one right here. Social posting for lead strategies with Blake and Ashley Cantrell.
Yes,
I watched it today,
dynamic.
and a lot of things I learned were people were asking like, what time should we post the ads? These guys have done it, and we interviewed them, and they talk all about it. It's a really good. I think it's like 40 minutes long, but I was hooked to that whole thing. So then you can take this and use this as a framework for that same exact strategy of growing your own groups and posting to other people's groups. And Facebook can be a huge source of leads for you without having to pay another dime, but you do have to make it like a full-blown strategy. And that's why I say, hey, put everything on a spreadsheet. That way you can just make it a nice, easy process for reposting into groups and reposting into your groups and all that kind of stuff. And always be thinking about what can I post to my groups that's going to keep people interested every single day.
And I think if you save it on a Google Sheet, it's better than Excel. Because a Google Sheet's going to travel with you.
Yes.
So if you're waiting in an open house, waiting on someone to like show up and they're saying they're on their way, but really they're 45 minutes late, you can sit there and you can grab your links from your doc or your Google Sheet and post things, and even set up scheduled posts if you have your own group. So it's really handy.
Yep. Well, perfect. And yes, this will be on YouTube. We'll upload it to YouTube once Annalisa works her magic and cleans it all up. So
it's just fine. I'll add a few things, but it was good.
Yeah. Well, perfect, everybody. We really appreciate your time, and we look forward to next time. And I hope to talk to some of you very soon.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Right. Yeah, thank you. Take care.